want to push him on to one of these champions where he won't be able to just sit on a comfort pick.
So Twitch banned away, the final ban here for Gambit. Doesn't seem to be a champion that Genja is so willing to play. And it's funny, Genja, because we've seen him so often. When Caitlyn was the flavor, he never wanted to play Caitlyn. Now it's Twitch and doesn't want to play Twitch whatsoever. That'll be banned away. Of course, Red Side Cassidy banned, and Jack's taken away from Darien, who did really, really well on it against Fnatic yesterday. First pick then for Gambit as it comes around, Shyvana for Darien.
So with Shyvana being locked in here, which actually has been the go-to top laner for Mimer, especially when Jax was banned away, we need to see if he wants to go for Trundle, maybe he wants to go for Renekton and try and do a real early game setup here for SUPA HOT CREW and just try and snowball this Renekton early on, put Darien completely out of the game and just try and win the game within like 30-35 minutes.
Well, we'll see about that one. The SUPA HOT CREW, will they take a bottom lane here as their first two choices? Top lane already locked in, so they could possibly leave that for later on, depending on how things go. Lucian for MrRalleZ. He has played every game apart from the win against Alliance on Lucian, where he played Draven in that victory. They will take the full bottom lane. And whilst we're talking about MrRalleZ being great, I want to focus on wewillfailer a little bit more here, because with Thresh, he has set up a hell of a lot for the SUPA HOT CREW.
His mechanics have improved a lot from when he was on Lemon Dogs 1 year ago in the summer split, where he had some issues when it came to actually landing the skill shots. He's improved it in solo queue over the last year, and he's actually landing a lot of hooks. We also sees Leona play, very good at engaging team fights, so it's a great support pickup here for wewillfailer. And of course, MrRalleZ on Lucian. Nothing new, we know what he can do on it, we know he can carry games.
So the other side for Gambit then, what's going to be locked in here? Possible Elise. If we look down Gambit's choices so far in the jungle,
Sin is also open.
He's been in those four that we've been talking about all week long here. The Elise, Lee Sin, Evelynn, and Kha'Zix. In fact, played one from all of them there. And Lulu possibly here for Nick. He did play it yesterday against Fnatic. Had a bit of a horrible time in laning phase. Got dumpstered really by Pecky in terms of farm, but we saw as the game progressed that he became stronger and stronger. Actually didn't die in that game going 2-0-8. That's what he gets this time around.
And this Elise pick here could be because they want to focus on, again, disengaging fights, of course, with Lulu, with Elise, and also focus on pushing down towers, because Elise, she's one of the few junglers who can actually attack from range and therefore get a lot of damage onto towers while staying back, don't have to go into melee range, which of course Lee Sin would have to do. Could be the reason they don't pick the Lee Sin, because normally Diamond would love to just maybe even first pick a Lee Sin.
So Lee Sin, as while we're on that topic, was locked in by the SUPA HOT CREW for Impaler. He did bring out Lee Sin a couple of times
twice,
our initial week, which was the first loss to Millennium and then the win over Roccat. Also going to see Kale brought out for not MrRalleZ, for Selfie in the mid lane. He played that one in the loss to SK Gaming in the third day of the Super Week 1.
But so, for SUPA HOT CREW here, very standard picks to be honest. I mean, Lee Sin, we see him pretty much every game. The dual lane is the same. Kale has been very popular lately with the Hurricane build here. So SUPA HOT CREW going a very standard comp. And Gambit then with now Caitlyn being logged in, really going for this tower pushing setup here. You have Edward on Gragas now to disengage, you have Lulu to disengage, you have the net from Caitlyn, you have Elise of course can land the cocoon and then run away, repel away. So there's a lot of disengage from Gambit here. And then you have Darien doing his stuff up in the top lane, just applying a lot of pressure, forcing SUPA HOT CREW to send people up to try and kill him, while the rest of the team can just push down towers.
What will the SUPA HOT CREW put against Shyvana this time around? If I look to previous games where they're against Shyvana, there's only one of them that was against Millennium in the opening game of the season. Irelia was the choice actually for Mimer. It's not going to be Teemo, I'm afraid, guys. Sadly enough, that would be a spectacle, that's for sure. But I do not believe Teemo will in fact slip through.
Do it.
And Mimer shook his head, he's like, no. No.
Please don't lock it in. Please don't lock it in.
Don't lock in Teemo, please. And of course, he switches away. Mundo, a champion which Mimer played a lot of in spring when he was so popular.
And in the start of the spring split, we also saw this matchup close to every single game almost with Mundo against Shyvana. We talk always about how Shyvana wants to go for the Blade of the Ruined King, do a lot of damage onto the Dr. Mundo, and Dr. Mundo just focuses full tank, wants to sustain it, and going into the real late game part is where Dr. Mundo becomes this unkillable beast who can just tank up all the damage in team fights. So SUPA HOT CREW here, with both Mundo of course, with the Kale pick in the mid lane, also with Lucian as the AD carry, looking for a very strong teamfight combo, also going into late game parts. Gambit Gaming as well, are not weak in the late game. Caitlyn is one of the stronger AD carries once you really start hitting a lot of items in the late game, but the mid game for Caitlyn is the weak point of her, and that's where SUPA HOT CREW can try and punish Gambit.
This is Gambit's chance as well to tie up the scoreline in the table overall with the SUPA HOT CREW. If they can win this one, both teams will be 3 for 3. We'll see about that one, and we want to know, of course, who you guys think came out ahead in the picks and bans. As usual, tweet at LOL Esports with hashtag GMB win or hash SHC win, and we'll see if your lineups have managed to sway your votes a little bit from that 60-40 that we saw in favor of Gambit from the LOLesports.com vote a little bit earlier on.
And I think actually this game is going to really come down to, first of all, the top laners, of course. Do we get Mimer with a great start so he can become tanky very fast, or are we going to see Darien instead really starting to dominate the one-on-one? And then also when you look at the AD carries here, Caitlyn for me is a bit of a weird AD carry still. A lot of the people in Europe don't actually like to play her because her mid game is so weak, but also a person like Genja, of course, who can make it work if he gets to the late game.
We're always gobsmacked with Genja, right? So it always seems to be one champion somehow behind and still plays Varus when no one else is playing Varus, and bringing out Caitlyn now at a time when no one else is really playing Caitlyn. We'll find out how it works for him here as Gambit take on the SUPA HOT CREW in our final LCS game of week 2. And as I said, an important one, a chance for Gambit to level things up in the table between these two teams, and therefore also a chance for the SUPA HOT CREW to take a bit of a lead over Gambit.
Of course, we also need to see Selfie on this Kayle here. We know how strong Kayle is in the late game. In general, SUPA HOT CREW, they're good actually, except for maybe the real early stage with this Dr. Mundo here up in the top lane, but then actually already going into mid, and then of course into late game, they just have an overall very strong comp. And then to help the Mundo in the laning phase, Impaler with Lee Sin of course can be very active, or they can try and go for a lane swap and just have Mimer farming the jungle with Impaler.
That is a deep ward from Mimer. We want to see where the lane swaps come in. Gambit saw that one coming down. Not often we see wards quite that deep, and there is the vote, and it definitely has swung. 57 to 43 is just another tick there for the SUPA HOT CREW. And of course it was 60-40 from LOLesports.com in favor of Gambit before. So little swing in the favor of the SUPA HOT CREW, seeing their picks. And let's be honest, they are on some comfort champions here.
They are, definitely. We also need to see with Gambit here how they want to use their siege comp. If they just want to get a small lead early and just start grouping up 4 members and just pushing down towers. We need to remember with Kayle, you won't be able to instant clear waves. Like, you need a bit of time to kill all the minions here, so they need MrRalleZ in the mid lane to help clear out the minions. Otherwise, Gambit is always going to get a lot of damage onto towers.
I'm expecting Selfie to go into the now popular Hurricane build with that Kayle later on. So it takes a little bit of time to get that way, so it'll be a while before we're talking about that one. For now, the SUPA HOT CREW are taking away the blue buff, and Darien, not for the first time this season, is on the other side of the map. This time, though, he will come around to safety. Of course, he got caught out. I think it was against Millennium, possibly, or even against Alliance, where he ended 1-9-4. I think that was the start of a bad snowball against him that game.
Well, he actually went in here to ward the red buff, just to spot out when Impaler. Mimer decides to go up and do it after this Wraith camp here, and then just return back to the lane. He should actually be running around though with Diamond and just farming away, yet he's staying in the lane, trying to catch a bit of CS, but it's going to be very hard for him against both wewillfailer and MrRalleZ.
So this mid lane, early push out from Selfie, who hits level 2 slightly before Nick, and will try and utilize that extra level in that he's gotten him for a bit more damage and harassment in that mid lane. Of course, has himself the heal to come out with as well. See how that one all develops. As you mentioned, this top lane, Darien doing something that's become less and less popular for this exact reason here, and staying around in that top lane.
So he did get level 2 at least for the dive, and we actually see Edward and Diamond coming in towards Selfie here.
Oh, the Ignite is going to go down. He's on the right side of the map from this one, and here is the dive onto Darien. He's actually going to be forced to flash away. Impaler trying to chase through, and Selfie now headed to the top lane. He's like, okay, can't get back to base maybe. I'll try and get back to the rest of my team as Gambit come around to this top turret. They're going to try and stop that one from going down.
They should be able to. Edward joining in as well, so it's 3 members against 3 here. We'll be able to clear the wave very, very fast. Mimer teleported down to this bottom lane here to pick up some farm because it's only Genja. So now Mimer can actually farm 1v1, which is very good for him.
Needing that farm to come his way and should go ahead of Darien, who gets hooked into this one. Flay will knock him back. No flash, of course. Ignite went down and MrRalleZ going very aggressive there. Not enough damage though in the end to finish off Darien.
Very aggressive. Teleport is ready for Darien, so you can just join in again with Edward and Diamond, of course, to continue to farm away in this one. So Gambit, they actually leave Genja to just farm early on here. They really want him to get ahead early so he can get into his late game point where Kaden, of course, will be very, very strong, and where SUPA HOT CREW instead actually put Mundo to get into this late game point and get the farm.
Funnily enough, Mundo, same CS here as Darien Shyvana, so
it is hard though for him to farm against the Caitlyn in a one-on-one, but still gonna pick up some solo XP and at least try and get some of the farm with the cleavers.
See there, Genja utilizing that Piltover Peacemaker and a headshot and auto attack, which will certainly knock some HP away from Mimer. But look at this, Selfie now, headed towards this bottom lane. Will Genja get caught out? He's got no ward. Selfie's level 4. Genja does have flash. Oh, that maybe have stopped this one from happening. Depends how effective this slow is going to be. Ignite will be put down here by Selfie. He's got his auto attacks going. One more will do it. Selfie picks up the first blood. And that's always the danger of leaving your AD carry alone.
Especially when he was this far up the lane, there was no wards to spot Selfie moving from the mid lane. And as soon as he actually moved away, Impaler just walked into the mid lane to pick up the farm, made sure Nick couldn't actually move anywhere or push just a wave down. It's a very, very smart play by SUPA HOT CREW, and really punishing Genja for being so far up in this bot lane all alone.
The top lane, if we look there, still 18 to 19. Mundo, of course, now will have some free farm, but he needs to be careful because Diamond has come around, and Mimer running his own health out here will actually take a good route, but that's a good cocoon from Diamond. Can he get in from this one? Has he got enough to finish off? He's got the vision. Impaler coming around. Mimer goes low. They actually try and turn it around, and Diamond's going down. Impaler gets the kill, and Mimer walks away with his life.
And notice how Impaler played the situation here. He actually walked down, then he just waited around the corner, so Diamond didn't even spot him coming, and then as soon as he were in range for the Sonic Wave, easy hit there from Impaler and managed to pick up a kill. Very, very strong start from SUPA HOT CREW. And now Edward coming towards this mid lane. There's no flash on Selfie.
What is he going to be able to do here? Belly slam will have to land, and that makes it a lot easier. A lot of damage coming in, but intervention will mean that he can walk back out of the lane. Didn't have his flash available. I used that earlier on, of course, to secure the kill on towards Genja. Survives for now.
A little bit unlucky for Gambit there. Selfie actually managed to get level 6 on the very last minion before Edward showed him the lane. So of course, as soon as they saw he got hit level 6, couldn't actually go for the kill. At least Edward tried, forced away the ulti from Selfie.
Edward coming back into the top lane now to help out with Darien, who does have a 5 CS lead over his opposite number. Mimer, there was a hook coming through, which Edward would have had to be called into support. In the end, Edward will just leave Darien alone now and probably feeling okay. He's level 5, probably going to be hitting level 6 pretty soonish, which gives him all the more safety to deal with this Nick. And Impaler comes over the top of the wall, didn't even see he was in range there. Can he finish off Nick? No, not quite. Nick put him down a ward. Not sure really why.
Scare him away, man. Scare him away. Impaler actually, if he had waited his ED and flashed after him, he would have managed to pick up the kill, but I don't think he expected Nick to just flash instantly away here. And very aggressive start from Impaler, doing a very good job being at the right place at the right time.
And this is what he said early on in the Super Week, that yes, Lee Sin is a great champion for him because he loves to be aggressive early on, and that's where Lee Sin is going to be excelling. It just needs the coordination in the team to actually be top-notch so that he can actually pull that through and come out on top for his team. Looking like the SUPA HOT CREW may get the first turret of the game away here as Darien tries his best to hold on to it, and at least for this wave, that turret will survive.
Yeah, Gambit is losing out on this lane swap here because, first of all, Edward left Darien now to 1v2 in this top lane, so the tower will take damage every single time SUPA HOT CREW pushes in. And he went for a small roam towards the mid lane after he recalled. Of course, there was nothing for him to do there because Nick was so low. And now he's just down in this bottom lane, but it's going to take Gambit some time before they can actually kill the bot tower because Mimer, of course, kept Genja away from it for such a long time. So it actually barely took any damage, maybe about 40% damage or something. So for now, SUPA HOT CREW can take the top tower in case they want, and then just go down bottom lane and therefore make sure that Gambit won't take the tower.
Well, it looks like they may, in fact, go straight down bottom here. We see the recall coming out. Impaler coming to the top lane. You look at the health bars and you see that Impaler might have a bit of a tough time holding off Darien there, but with the safety of being underneath his tower, will certainly help out. And this is where it gets interesting when Darien starts to go into the enemy jungle between the towers. We all know that Darien sometimes gets caught out. Sometimes as well, it is for the greater good, let's call it, of the Gambit
course.
team.
I mean, sometimes he gets a dragon for Gambit just by pulling multiple members up top here. And what SUPA HOT CREW actually did was send the bottom lane, or the dual lane down to the bottom lane here, because Genja was actually freezing the wave early on. So Mimer, he was zoned away from all the CS, and they needed multiple members to stop the freeze, so they had to recall up top, send the dual lane down to bottom lane. That's why Genja broke the freeze now, and that's a big wave from MrRalleZ. Gambit, however, will be able to pick up his dragon because Impaler was still stuck up at his top lane. So Darien, it worked for him.
Looking into the future there, and Darien says yes, and he didn't even die for it this time as well. That is sweet, sweet times for Darien and the dragon, which brings Gambit back when you look at the gold totals. Meanwhile, MrRalleZ taking a big hit down the bottom lane. Actually, it was the ultimate that came out of Genja that really knocked him low from that.
He was forced to farm under the tower once he actually came down to the lane, so there's a lot of poke from Gambit, as you said, ulti used as well from Genja. So all the summoners for the dual lane of SUPA HOT CREW here. Diamond just staying around. Nick as well actually moving down towards them.
Will this be a 4-on-2 dive? They've pinged in the brush because they know there's a ward there, and Diamond's actually going to come through the lane. That makes it a lot harder for them to retreat. The box going to go down from wewillfailer. Cocoon not actually landed. There's a hook onto Edward. He's underneath the tower. They do manage to get MrRalleZ. Will they get wewillfailer as well? The repel from Diamond comes in. Oh, last second intervention. Diamond goes down. He did get wewillfailer on his way out though. No one else there though now from the SUPA HOT CREW to help get any more kills. They did hold the turret, but it's a 2-for-1.
2-for-1 here. Good aggressive move by Gambit. Diamond, he knew the wall was there, so he moved all the way around. And Mimer, because he was standing right in front of Darien, he couldn't teleport down to help. He would have been interrupted by the ult here from Darien, so he couldn't help the team. Therefore, 2 members went down. Selfie managed to get a kill, which is, of course, is very good for SUPA HOT CREW, but still gave up 2 here.
Stinger already in there for Selfie. And look at that, Impaler's coming around. Edward needs to be careful. He body slam, gets him back behind the tower. And he's going to try and farm a little bit up here whilst his AD carry is gone. May just miss most of them as well. That's the case. Seems to be. He's got his barrel.
Oh,
there we go.
He got it.
Nice bit of gold for him.
And very, very good move by Gambit, actually. Selfie was the first one to move down bottom to kill Genja. Now Gambit did the exact same thing to the dual lane of SUPA HOT CREW because they got so low under the tower. So just overall a very smart move. Nick pushed out the mid lane and then moved before Selfie even figured out what was going on.
Nick this time around, we saw him in his first game of the season, 0-0-0. Didn't really have much impact in the game whatsoever, as you would expect when someone finishes the game at 0-0-0. However, he has come into his own here a little bit more, I think, and looks to be feeling more confident in his role in this mid lane. Obviously, big shoes to fill as well. Certainly from a fan's standpoint. Everyone, of course, loved LCS. As Impaler goes in on towards Diamond. It's a lot of damage. Kick comes around. There's a burst from Selfie that'll get them the kill. And now they're looking for Nick as well. Edward will come around. There's the damage. Impaler flash. Intervention won't save his life. There's a kill for Nick.
Intervention was way too late from Selfie. All the damage were already done from Edward, and then the intervention came in. So easy enough for Nick to just pick up the kill. First though, it is Impaler going aggressive onto Diamond. Again, this Lee Sin pick here has been very good for SUPA HOT CREW and applied a lot of pressure on the map.
That leaves them 4-3 up in kills, but slightly behind in gold now. Only 200 or so though, so not exactly a massive amount, as Darien once again was just going up towards the golems, and this time will be recalling. He started triple Dorans with 1 shield and 2 blades. Other side, Mimer he's already got himself that giant spell.
And while Gambit actually fell slightly behind in the lane swap in this start, as soon as the swap came from SUPA HOT CREW, Gambit actually took full control of it. The dual lane down the bottom here, Genja and Edward did a very good job getting MrRalleZ low so they could dive him afterwards and kill him. And up in the top lane, Darien actually pulled ahead in farm against Mimer. Yes, he just lost the tower, but still it was already very low from the lane swap itself. So Gambit doing a very good job. First freezing the bottom lane, so SUPA HOT CREW had to swap around, and then just punish SUPA HOT CREW for it.
Gragas support causing a couple of issues from MrRalleZ, really zoning him out with those barrels that even here without it, you know, with a support Graga, still definitely do cause a little bit of pain. Genja also pushed up quite heavily here as Lee Sin trying to get in. There's a ward in that brush though, so even if he gets past the vision of the minions, he's got to be a lantern gank indeed.
Has to be, but wewillfailer, there's no flash, so he needs to land the hooked in to actually get the engage on. Darien now, full control of this lane. A level ahead of Mimer, just takes the tower, doesn't even care about Mimer.
No need to. Got himself a cutlass. No magic mantle as well on that last trip home. Sunfire Cake was the starting choice for Mimer though, over with Dr. Mundo. Mid lane, which is, I want to say been quiet, but only really been quiet between the two of them. Otherwise, we've seen like a lot of roaming down from Selfie. 3-0-0 Darien, after saying that he'd done a good job in that top lane, will actually be forced to use his ultimate to get out of the enemy jungle.
To use the Olden Way, of course, to let his flash and teleport. Dragon come up in 50 seconds here, so he can go back. Shop now either run straight towards the dragon, save his teleport, or he can move up towards his top lane if Mimer's actually pushing down the wave towards him. Seems for now he's just holding it where it is. And once again, action down his bottom lane. Genja used the ulti, and now the rest of the Gambit is here.
There's a ward in there. I actually feel like they could have gone for that one, but they didn't know where Selfie was.
Have to respect the teleport from Mimer as well. They knew Darien was far away, and Mimer could join in at the tower here and turn things around.
Well, it's probably going to be called to join in either way, because you've got 20 seconds until the next dragon of this game comes into play. And bottom wave forced up onto the turret. We already saw a couple of men from Gambit there, but although they've already backed away back to the middle lane and the jungle for Diamond, that's a lot of damage to wewillfailer. Again, the Piltover Peacemaker coming in, a lot of damage onto wewillfailer. But dragon is now up. Gambit got the first dragon of the game. SUPA HOT CREW knew it was happening as they had a ward in that death rush and chose to leave it.
No shit though from Gambit here. They don't actually know SUPA HOT CREW started, and now wewillfailer, he's dead.
He's dead. He's gonna go down to that one. It's actually Genja that gets the kill. Dragon in the meantime went to the SUPA HOT CREW. They're gonna try and close down here, or will they try and get themselves away? I think backing away is the only option really, as we are gonna see them moving in. Impaler gets a very early intervention. Everyone's going low. Mimer's here, but Darien coming in around the side. He's kicked away before he can ulti through onto them, and that is bad news. They're chasing Mimer, but he's Dr. Mundo and he doesn't care. Flashes over the wall to get away.
But still, Darien teleported behind the rest of SUPA HOT CREW there. Did a lot of pretty much panic from SUPA HOT CREW as soon as he came in there. They spread up in every single direction. Mundo went up towards the river. The rest of SUPA HOT CREW tried to get back to the tower. Notice here with the teleport, actually, we're just gonna see the kill on wewillfailer first. Meanwhile, this is happening. SUPA HOT CREW is doing the dragon, and therefore wewillfailer, I would actually say he stayed too long. I'm not sure if he tried to bait them to stay in this bottom lane so they wouldn't try and stop the dragon, but ended up cost his life.
So the TP, let's have a look where exactly, or not, where that one came from. Either way, he came down the back, couldn't get his ultimate off in time. That's how it went down. Either way, it was the dragon for the SUPA HOT CREW. They're still behind you in this game though. Right, about 400 gold. Still a lot of towers though up for grabs here. Only one apiece taken down, both of them in the top lane. As we see Darien forged himself a CS lead now in this game. And we all know that Darien, even when he's 0-9 in some games, still looks very, very confident. They're going to go on towards wewillfailer. Intervention is available, not even needed at this time. And there's Darien appearing again from the backside. Wild Growth will knock up Selfie. He'll have to use the intervention on himself, but he's slowed and he's not going to get away. It's Darien that gets the shutdown.
So a lot of CC here from Gambit. As soon as they get onto Selfie, there's the slows from Edward and knock-up, of course. Cocoon landed from Diamond as well. So Selfie, even though he had flash, couldn't even get close enough to actually get over the wall and decided not to use it. So Gambit again, because Darien has so much control in this top lane, he can just roam around like he wants to. So even though there's a fight down here, it's actually Darien moving down behind him and just coming in, doing a lot of damage. Wild Growth onto him as well to knock Selfie up, and they can just take him. Now onto Impaler. Oh,
wow, that was a great barrel out of Edward. And Impaler, will he get away? Wow, good kick out there. Darien getting hugged as well. And Impaler survives the turret, however, won't be as lucky. And wewillfailer may be a little bit too deep here. They've got Mimer coming around. Yes, he's Mundo. No, Darien doesn't care. Just run straight through him. Backed away.
And we actually saw here with Edward, when the lantern was down, he just placed his big fat belly right in front of it, so Impaler couldn't actually click on it, and therefore he had to just flash away instead of taking the easy route out. So nice play by Edward. And again, very aggressive Gambit here. As soon as they see an opportunity, they go for it and really use the fact now as well with Darien just completed Blade Rune King. He can just go back to this top lane and do the exact same thing. Push Mimer down, rotate down to mid lane or whatever he wants, wherever he wants to go, and just join in for fights.
Looking good here for Gambit. Nick, who again has felt quiet so far during this game, but if you look at his score, he's been involved. 5 out of the 6 kills that Gambit have. He's got 2 kills, 3 assists from them, so being heavily involved in all of those as a hook comes through wide though of Darien. Blade of the Ruin King start, which I think QuickShot mentioned it earlier. Most of these Shyvanas here in Europe have been starting off some Fire Cave.
Well, it depends. I mean, it goes a bit back and forth. Against Mundo, I definitely like the Blade of the Ruin King start because it means it's so easy for Darien now to just do a lot of damage and stick to Mimer, out-sustain him as well, and therefore just force him out of the lane, like we've seen he's been doing so far. I don't like it for him. And also, he has the wild growth as for protection if he does get in a team fight while he's still squishy.
There's a turret for the Super Hot Crew down bottom, still 2 behind overall, and also a couple of 1,000 gold. I like how Genja's been utilizing Caitlyn so far, I have to say, in this bottom lane, using the ace in the hole whenever it comes up, just to knock MrRalleZ away, and that's how they eventually got to finish off that bottom outer turret. Got 2 minutes until the next dragon comes into the game. Last one, of course, was contested, and actually ended with the Super Hot Crew taking it, but losing a couple of kills in the process. So we'll see how this next one all comes down. Edward's already in position here to maybe get some vision in place.
Gambit still has to worry about Selfie here on Kayle. Already completed the Hurricane now, has 3 kills. Definitely don't want to give that over to Kayle. We know how strong she is in the late game, so still have to worry about this point, about this part here, but they are ahead now. So in this mid game, especially with Darien in the lead, and also with Nick being pretty well farmed on his Lulu, Gambit can definitely force some team fights if they want to.
If they want to. We'll find that.
They don't even, they can actually also just split push if they want. I mean, keep the 4 members in mid lane and just have Darien split push up in this top lane here. So multiple options for Gambit. 1 minute till the Dragon teleport is ready for both top laners by that time. So of course they can join in as well.
See, Selfie is actually 40 CS ahead of Nick, and a bit of deja vu from the game against Fnatic where Peke controlled him in terms of CS, but they still allowed Nick to actually get involved when it came to those team fights. Although, as you mentioned earlier on, Kayle is scary the later the game goes on, especially with 3 kills to his name. And now half a minute until that Dragon comes up. The Super Hot Crew are getting some deeper wards in there, starting off with the Tribush. In case anyone comes from bottom, that of course would be Genja, who's headed that way right now. They've got a pink in the Death Brush as well, so is that Edward looking to bait them out?
At least we have seen the amount of CC, and here's the Cocoon action onto Impaler.
Oh, that's going to be some good damage. Not quite the kill, but good damage indeed. The hook not landing. They're going to go for Diamond, though. He will simply repel away. Dragon not there to go to, so he'll come right back down. Actually, a lot of damage coming his way. Edward is there as well. Darien needs to use his ultimate, and finally does. They're going to surely get wewillfailer. Wild Growth comes in, but Darien being focused. Finally, the barrel out of Edward as well. That will disperse the Super Hot Crew, but Gambit so very low. Not much health over with the Super Hot Crew either. There's a lantern for the Super Hot Crew to get away, but this Dragon, not sure it's going to be taken just now. wewillfailer getting through the ace in the hole. Gambit still there with Genja on full HP and Nick pretty much full as well. They can stick around for this.
Genja actually joined in pretty late for the fight. He was in the bot lane when they went on for wewillfailer the first time. He had to run all the way up to the team here. So Super Hot Crew in the start were actually in a pretty good position. Darien went in, got Wild Growth, actually managed to flash away, and then Genja joined in when Super Hot Crew had to back away.
Selfie coming around. He's the real danger man.
He still has ultimate.
Yeah, his ultimate is still there, which must be a scary thought for Gambit, although they've got the numbers advantage here and health advantage really as well. Only one of them a little bit low. Mimer down to half, but he's Mundo, so his half is more than anyone else's half, that's for sure.
They can go mid here. Gambit, if they want to just give up this Dragon, just start sending at least 1 member mid to push it up. It's actually what Genja is doing now. If they want to contest this one, he has to run back down though.
He's going to start to run back down. Dragon just over half health. Will start to reset himself here in a second, and Super Hot Crew go in. Impaler smites that one down. Now possibly going to try and turn around. Nico was already miles away from that one down in the bottom lane.
So a bit of a split decision from Gambit. They sent Genja up to push the wave. up to the tower in the mid lane. The rest of them actually stayed, or 3 of the members from Gambit stayed at the Dragon just to see if they could maybe steal it. And Nick went down to bottom lane here, so gave up the Dragon. Could actually send all the members to the mid lane, at least get a little bit of damage onto the tower and then moved away if they didn't want to fight the Dragon anyhow. But still, managed to pick up some farm, and SUPA HOT CREW got a much needed Dragon here, keeping the goal fairly even.
Yep, keeps them in this game, that's for sure. Now, just 8,300 gold behind. 23 or 24 minutes into this game. Gambit still holding the turret lead though, especially that mid lane, which is all the way down to the inhibitor turret. Nick is already pushing up the bottom lane as well, although we've already seen Selfie go down there to get himself some easy free farm. And talking about his wave clear earlier on, it's now become a lot stronger with the addition of the Hurricane.
So, if Gambit is sieging up to the tower, it's hard for him to go in and actually hit the minions here and kill them, but as soon as he has just a few seconds, he will clear the waves very, very fast. And of course, with the help from MrRalleZ, SUPA HOT CREW should be able to take out these waves in case Gambit decides to group up. For now, they're actually just back to farming. Genja as well, farming with their nobody in the top lane here, while Edward, Nick, is actually also going towards, no, it's the blue buff. I was about to say, how many members are sitting up to this top lane? For now, there's just blue buff and SUPA HOT CREW, and Gambit actually just farming away a little bit.
A lot of red wards on the top side of the SUPA HOT CREW's jungle, I think mainly to keep an eye on Darien, who's been running around there constantly, surprising them a couple of times by coming out from the back side of them. Actually, he's nowhere near them at this point. He's still in the mid lane, although he's going to be called down to bottom where Selfie had already pushed that wave all the way on through. He's already backed up because his blue buff is available.
And Selfie can just return down to this bottom lane again and split push, and then we have Mimer up in the top lane, Selfie in the bottom lane. If SUPA HOT CREW can actually manage to push Gambit away from here and then take control of the map, they can do this 1-3-1 split push with Selfie and Mimer if they want to. For now though, they just want to defend the lanes, and therefore Selfie is back into this mid lane.
So Gambit starting their move up towards top. That way, really starting to push through. They'll get themselves a red buff pick up here as well. Clearly couldn't quite get around to contest that one. Selfie trying to head them off as an ace in the hole will come through. Hits Impaler in the end, but he's got a lot of shield. Darien actually going to go aggressive into this one. Wild Growth will knock them all up, but they need the rest of the team in. Eddie smashing them all around. Mimer actually going to be the big focus here right at the front. And with 4 men or 5 men on him from Gambit, doesn't matter how tanky he is, he'll eventually go down. That was a big win in terms of health. However, Darien did go low as well. SUPA HOT CREW trying to push back.
It was the 2 tanks here from both teams that took all the damage, therefore nobody actually went down. Mimer had to flash over the wall to get out. It was a pretty good engage onto Selfie, forced his intervention very early on in the fight here, but then the rest of SUPA HOT CREW could just join in, and actually nobody went down.
Kills from that one, just showing how willing Gambit are here to really get going on. Certainly how willing Darien is to dive into the rest of the enemy team, although that's not really anything new from what we're used to seeing out of Darien. He's just gone back down to that bottom lane to push things out, but he may be called to middle here. 5 men from the SUPA HOT CREW are going to go for this outer turret. Don't know what's going to stop them, because Mundo can actually hold it up, but that cocoon onto wewillfailer may just be what they're looking for with a turnaround onto Edward.
Ooh.
A lot of damage coming through.
A lot of damage here, almost landing a hook as well from wewillfailer onto Genja. SUPA HOT CREW, they continue to pressure, they're going in!
Oh, Impaler around the back, he's kicked Genja away and he's going to surely go down. No! Last second intervention, ace in the hole comes through, it's Diamond that gets the kill, and now Darien's in the middle of them as well. A little bit further behind, slowed down. It'll be a 1-for-0 though, they'll take that any day.
So they traded the tower for a kill onto Impaler here, who tried to insect kick back Genja. He flashed away as soon as he saw the flash actually from Impaler here, so very smart play, and therefore it didn't get kicked into the team of SUPA HOT CREW. Still though, tower went down. Darien didn't use his teleport, he actually ran the entire way from bot lane up to mid here to join in with the team.
So, as we are about to hit the half-an-hour point of the game, let's have a look where the gold leaves us. 1,200, 300 gold lead for Gambit, and tower advantage on their side at just 4-3, so not a massive lead on that front. We are going to see the Dragon coming up here in just over a minute's time, which could certainly sway how that gold looks.
Last whisper for Genja now, he has enough gold for it. He's just been farming up the entire time, can sell his potion, buy the last whisper now. And get towards this Caitlyn point where he really becomes strong in the fights. And that's really what Gambit wants. Then you have Lulu to protect him. Unless Lulu, of course, wants to use the Wild Growth on Darien when he jumps in. But you can still kite. You have the slow from Edward. You have the knockback from Edward. The kiting, the slows from Nick. So Can be hard for Super Hot Crew to actually get onto Genja here in the late game team fights, unless Impaler gets a good kick onto him.
Mimer trying to stick to Edward, and actually Edward using his ultimate there to knock them back somewhat, but the Super Hot Crew already starting to close in on them with Impaler, with wewillfailer, but Eddie, for such a big lad on that Gragas, he's actually managed to dodge pretty much everything they throw at him.
Dodging around. Good moves by Edward. Didn't actually invest anything for Super Hot Crew's side, chasing him down. Edward had to use the ultimate, of course, but still managed to get away from it.
Now Diamond focus off Super Hot Crew's attention. Good cocoon onto wewillfailer. I don't think there should be too much of a follow-up from that one, although now the rest of the team are coming in. Diamond, will he get involved? Mimer gonna get hit by the next slowdown, and in the end, Selfie keeping Darien away. That is a lot of damage coming Darien's way. He might be forced to ulti. No.
And this is a scary point again for Gambit. Late game, nobody will be able to 1v1 Selfie on this Kale here. That's why, again, Super Hot Crew can do this split push. They can even send Mimer up the top lane if they want to. For now, it's the Dragon. Teleport coming in from Darien. He just went back to base to heal.
Dragon already down, though, in favor of the Super Hot Crew, and they're going to take the Lantern away. It leaves Mimer all alone, but he's got his ultimate running, and Mundo regenning super quickly up to full HP. That was a good pickup from the Super Hot Crew. Actually brings them level now in terms of gold, and Gambit looking to make a move possibly onto that mid lane.
They want to force the teleport out from Mimer, at least stop him from pushing in this bot lane here, so they apply a lot of pressure now to this mid lane. Will he teleport behind? Genja actually isn't there with his team, he's running down to this bottom lane, so it's only 4 members, not the AD carry from Gambit pushing off. A bit weird.
Bit weird, and could have been deadly if wewillfailer would have landed that hook. Genja taking the long way around on the backside of his turret just to be super safe with that one. Don't want to be getting caught out and giving up a kill. But as we said, that last Dragon for the Super Hot Crew now brings the gold back to pretty much bang level. We've gone past the half-an-hour point of this game. See if any more big plays come out, or whether it's a case of settling down a little bit longer, farming up a little bit more. We already know that Selfie's going to be getting stronger and stronger. He's got a Void Staff now added in to his Nash's Tooth and the Hurricane.
It's going to be so scary for Darien if he tries to one-on-one Selfie. For now, those Super Hot Crew moving all 5 members down to this bottom lane. No teleport on Darien, and he's recalling from this top lane, so he won't be there in time.
He's going to be coming late to that party, and the turret may already be gone. In fact, I think it will be already gone. That is absolutely decimated by the Super Hot Crew. That's the tie-up on towers, and also the gold lead swinging back to SHC.
So smart move by them. They, of course, know Mimer is already pushing the wave up in the bottom lane. They spot Darien up in the top lane. Instantly just move down here, picks up the tower very, very fast. If Selfie goes for a Lich Bane as well in the late game, he can really also just destroy towers.
I think here in the audience we've got 2 separate fan groups for Gambit and the Super Hot Crew. See who comes out on top of that one a little bit later on, because right now things are so very even. The question is, as things develop, we will start to forge themselves somewhat of a lead. Genja! Oh! He nets into it! He's not going to escape that one. We will.
What were you doing, Genja? He was trying to steal away the Wraith Camp all alone, I think, and then just got hooked. Beautiful hook by wewillfailer, setting it up here. And they might. Oh, another one!
Diamond caught out. He's going to repel, but he's repelling to nowhere. Comes down. Oh, that's a great barrel, but he won't be enough to save him. Diamond's going to go down. It's MrRalleZ that gets the kill. 2 men dead. Will they go for Baron here, SHC? They've had bad experience trying to rush down Barons.
There's no Ziggs and there's no smite from Diamond here, so they will start it. Darien can still jump in, try and steal it. Edward without his ulti. Nick without his ulti here. Gambit's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a risky one.
They're trying to hold on to this one. Nick is maybe the one to do the
damage.
Darien diving in the back. The Baron's down at a 3rd HP, and they force Impaler to back away from the Baron pit. They've stopped attacking the Baron, but the Baron's not stopped attacking them. Impaler comes in. wewillfailer is possibly going to die to the Baron. No, it survived, and Selfie has taken down Lulu as well. Super Hot Crew, so well done there on Baron.
Darien actually tried to just go straight for Impaler in the back here, while the rest of Super Hot Crew were chasing the other members from Gambit. But Impaler managed to flash over the wall, then Sonic Wave back into the Baron pit once Darien actually joined him on the other side here. Didn't go down, smited away. Baron now for Super Hot Crew. Genja were completely out of position there. Great hook by wewillfailer. on both Diamond and Genja, setting up everything for Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, you have to say, he was 90 caliber net was already underway, and wewillfailer predicting that one, the timing and right angle on it as well. And we said before, that wewillfailer, the time we've seen him on Thresh,
Mechanics has been great.
Constantly been hitting important huts for the team, and once again setting them up, this time for a Baron. And once giving him credit, you also got to look at the other side of the coin. Why was Genja trying to do the raid camp right there?
Rapes, man. You need the gold. That's my only explanation. I've actually no idea. The rest of Gambit were already back at blue buff, I believe, so he was just all alone. For now though, let's just give credit over to wewillfailer for landing the hook, and of course Super Hot Crew for picking up the Baron.
Picking up the Baron and a gold lead with it. 52.2 to, let's call it 49,000 gold. Not the biggest of gold leads, but with that Baron Buffoni lead that they'll certainly be happy with as Impaler steals away that big raid. And they're putting down some good pressure now onto this inner turret in the mid lane. Selfie has picked up another item worth noting, Sonya's Hourglass for him.
He's getting out of control in this KO here. He's actually on the bottom lane pushing up here, so Super Hot Crew needs to disengage in this mid lane just to wait for him to push up the very big wave, and then they can move between top and mid if they want to. Doesn't matter which person actually goes down to try and stop Selfie from hitting the tower here. Nobody can touch him.
Yeah, Genja was the one to go down. He started walking on the left side of his wall. And look at this, they've come around the back and Gambit realizing they can't fight them here. That two-pronged attack was just too risky for them. They back away and say, okay, we're gonna have to defend this lane at least from our base. They've only got one tower left outside of their base, which is on the top side of the map.
We need to see here, I mean, again, with of course both Caitlyn and Lulu, they can clear the waves fairly easy, but still need to be careful for the hooks coming in from wewillfailer. Maybe Impaler will try and kick someone back. And the poor ward there, the pink ward, won't actually spot it.
No, a little bit too around the corner.
Unlucky.
Unlucky, yeah. Always ward in the middle, guys, so that you can see around those corners.
They don't actually...
Unfortunate to say the least. We'll see if that comes to haunt them. I honestly don't really think it will make too much difference on this one either way, but maybe I will be wrong on that one. We'll see. Let's push again.
Look at the damage also.
Yeah, it's Selfie.
Yeah,
just
hits the minion, just hits pretty much everyone around it as well. From you saw, Nick went down to like, he took 40% damage just from Selfie as you clearing the minion wave because you stood too close to it.
Super Hot Crew just waiting for this top wave to finally start pushing through. So we'll give that a gentle shove. Selfie will get himself Gambit blue buff on his way through, and honestly Gambit should just back away here. I don't think they can think about defending this turret.
At least try and clear the wave as much as possible.
Darien could stay around. Oh, he gets hooked. The Flay comes in as well. Here comes the rest of the ultis in. Edward trying to stay out, but he gets kicked out of position, and they're going to strip him down. Wild Growth actually coming through, but they lose the turret. They lose Edward. This is bad news. The box is down there, and once the rest of the team get involved, Gambit so very low. Diamond and Darien flashing health bars there. They need to back off.
And there, Genja was down the bottom lane to clear the wave, so he wasn't there with his team, and they're going for it.
Intervention used there, didn't quite have the damage to finish off. They will get that turret as Mimer gonna tank up all the damage. Actually, MrRalleZ blocked the ace in the hole out of Genja, which was less than ideal, but the Super Hot Crew get the slow onto Nick, and that should be the disengage to allow them to back away from the base.
And managed to get the tower down, so now there's an open inhibitor. They can go for it after they go back and shop now and heal up to full HP. And once they get this one down, the wave is pushed by itself. Selfie, of course, can go to one lane, follow members to the mid lane, and then just start pushing everything in here and forcing Gambit, like we just saw here, to split up to defend every single entrance into the base.
Looks like Genja wants the dragon. He's got some backup this time, so don't worry about that one. Gambit's safe now. A little bit of extra gold to their account, which brings it back to a 5,000 gold lead for the Super Hot Crew, the second Baron actually of the game, as Impaler does come across and find that that dragon is gone. Where's the next target for them? Of course, they didn't take the inhib on the top lane. They only managed to get rid of the tower, so no super minions streaming through on the top side of the map just yet.
So if they don't feel confident sending all 5 members to just teamfight for the inhibitor, just send Selfie there. Because again, no matter who's going to go to one-on-one, he's going to win it. You'll always get some damage on inhibitor, back away, do the same thing back and forth, while the rest of Super Hot Crew just keep the members from Gambit busy in the mid lane or in the bottom lane. it's an option for SUPA HOT CREW. But now they don't actually seem to go for it, or will they? Selfie is very far away, same goes for MrRalleZ.
Well, Diamond saw them coming, it's like, nope, do not want. Well, same thing goes for the Lantern there from Impaler's side. He will rather safeguard off to his own ward. Definitely safer at that point. Oh, Genja doing a red buff on his own. Spots, thanks to that ward, luckily for him that was coming in.
Oh, Darien.
I'm not sure he's
What? Well, who needs teleport late game anyway? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Diamond is in trouble.
Yeah, Diamond is in a lot of trouble here. He's going to repel, but where's he going to go? Straight down on top of him. wewillfailer's hook was actually aiming for someone else down on the further side there. And Darien, as we said, teleporting in. Not exactly the highlight of teleportation that we've seen so far in the LCS, that one.
No, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. However, SUPA HOT CREW is waiting for the Baron to respawn, can put up some pink wards, clear all the wards away from Gambit here, and then either bait Gambit to actually fight for it or just take it by themselves if they want to. For now, they're just pushing down mid lane, and then push the wave all the way down and then move up to Baron.
What they're going to do, maybe push that top lane as well, so that one's going in their favor. They've cleared out all the wards that Gambit had. Impaler's going to be running a bit of interference there through the jungle. Will they set up a trap here? They want more ward coverage and less ward coverage from Gambit, which is what they get. Ace in the hole is going to come through, and decent amount of damage onto wewillfailer, most of it though shielded up by the combo that they have. Now they're looking for a kill. Who are they going to go for? Darien probably not the target you want. Edward, certainly a juicier one as they do hook him in. He's going to fall very quickly. Actually throws his ultimate out there, but I'm not sure it's enough to actually save him. As Darien comes diving in from the side. Meanwhile, Selfie is hammering on towards Diamond. A lot of them so very, very low here. And the SUPA HOT CREW are going to want to chase this through. That's a good cocoon coming in, but the rest of the team managing to come through. The slows from Mimer being a real pain. Genja stayed behind, and Genja will go down as well.
And SUPA HOT CREW should be able to finish this game, or at least take down another inhibitor in the base here. They keep chasing.
They're going to keep going. Darien will have to flash away. Can they get in? Hook from wewillfailer. Doesn't quite land. Have they got the damage to get across? Good slow from Nick there. That will stop wewillfailer and the rest of the SUPA HOT chasing for kills, but it won't stop them having the turret.
Can take down the turret here. Again, remember, top inhibitor is open. They can go there afterwards. Very, very strong team fight for SUPA HOT CREW, really using this Kale in the late game, of course, and also Mimer just tanking up all the damage.
Mimer doesn't really care at this point. Randuin's Spirit Visage got himself a Sunfire Gate, got a QSS even. Get out of there, and the extra defensive stats that offers him. Baron, of course, is live here, so SUPA HOT CREW can once again bait around that as they did so nicely just a few moments ago to get that fight going.
And there's no teleport on Darien, remember, so he can actually stay in the bottom lane to defend the super minions coming and then go to, teleporting up to stop the Baron. So that's why Gambit now actually want to go and start it themselves, maybe. No, just want to at least get a ward down and then possibly back. Are they actually going to start it?
They've waited a hell of a lot of time, and there's
Mimer teleport.
Mimer's coming in from the side here. It's actually going to be TPing right onto the head of Darien in the end. There's Edward's ultimate, came out real early. Not sure it was the ideal timing for them. MrRalleZ going to throw the culling out. Edward flashes away from the damage as Selfie goes for Darien. Don't get that kill, but they'll transfer over to Diamond, who repels and comes right back down on top of them. Wild growth used, but it's not enough, and the hook onto Nick again. wewillfailer setting that one up. It's a double kill for MrRalleZ now at 5-2-4.
Beautiful again by SUPA HOT CREW. Mimer so confident he can just tank multiple members from Gambit, teleports in behind them, starts the whole fight. Good hook again from wewillfailer to give them a kill. Double kill action from MrRalleZ. Now SUPA HOT CREW pushing down again.
Second inhibitor will fall. That one was left open earlier as they took down that inhibitor turret. That leaves the base now. A juicy target for them, especially with a Dr. Mundo this late on in the game, who's going to get his ultimate running. First Nexus turret will drop. The focus now turns to the second one. That will fall like nothing, and the Nexus itself is finished off. The SUPA HOT CREW take down Gambit in the final LCS game of week 2.
Very strong team fights here for SUPA HOT CREW in this game, and they managed to punish Gambit every time they made a mistake. That's why they actually got ahead. That's why they got the Baron when they called out Genja at the Wraith camp. Took the Baron afterwards here. It's a very nice play by SUPA HOT CREW, and also Selfie on Kale here in his mid lane. Early on he picked up all the kills, Teamfight-wise, he was very strong, and of course, wewillfailer landing the hooks left and right.
We see that Kale, such a strong pick time and time
It
again.
is.
We say that Right made struggle earlier on the game, which honestly he didn't do this time around either. He had a good control even on the late phase. He was out farming there as well.
Yeah, some credit to Gambit, however. Early on in the lane swaps, they actually fell behind in CS, but then because Genja managed to freeze the bottom lane, they forced SUPA HOT CREW to send their dual lane down to the bottom lane, and that's where Gambit actually took over in the early mid game. Darien won his lane up one-on-one against Mimer. Down the bottom lane, of course, Genja and Edward did a very good job getting MrRalleZ and wewillfailer low so they could dive them with Diamond and Nick, pick up kills for Gambit. Actually, also got quite a gold lead, so Gambit there showed some very good moves after the early lane swaps here to really turn it in their favor. But then when it actually came down to the mid-late game part, SUPA HOT CREW were just one step ahead and managed to punish